Hello. So I just wanted to jump on and just kind of work on my Patreon tier logos for a little bit. Not really much of anything, super grandiose or anything, but just wanted to work on stuff some. So let me see. Trying to think. Oh, I don't have my phone anymore. The kids are playing with it. But yeah, just so that we can kind of be on the same page, I wanted to show you guys what it is that I've got going on right now. Well, so yeah, working on Patreon tiers, tier logos, and this is kind of my one of my first tiers for the brush collectors. Went through it, had it rendered and put it onto my Patreon page. I'm trying to go through and find. Let's pull this over here so we can look at it. Gonna go to the page, the public page, because it's easier to see the tiers this way. So far I've got my moral support brigade and my brush collectors activated. I have a treasure trooper. What was that? Oh, I thought it was an avocado seed. Where'd you get that? From the tree out here? Nice. Alright. So we have a treasure trooper. So what I'm going to want to do is probably work on either building out the treasure trooper icon, which I have. Let's kind of close this so that I can see what you see. Which I have right here is the treasure trooper. I have asset hoarders right here. I've got intergalactic rangers right there. So we'll go through and we'll kind of play with building these out a little bit further, so that it's so we have the rest of the icons. But yeah, I thought I'd do this as as a stream, so that we could go through and I could show process for creating things like stars and things like that. It's really simple, really fun, and I already have one made. So you can see here's like a nice little star that I made just using initialize and Z modeler sort of techniques. Very simple. But it's not something that's super obvious inside a ZBrush, so I figured I'd go ahead and give that a shot. Oh, good golly. I got like hiccups and cough at the same time. It's terrible. Alright. Let's give him a little bit nicer lighting. Alright, let's get one of these cough drops. Yeah, that's how we roll. Alright. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come down. I'm going to say initialize. Actually, we don't even need to do that. Let's do this. We're going to come up here to our cylinder 3D. And what we want to do is we want to get our H divide down to 5, or however many points you have for your star. Okay, so I got 5 points. We can go to the divide here, the vertical divide, and that's where I'm just going to bring it down all the way to 0. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. And I can just drag my Z size down or something like that. Okay, so now that looks great. That looks great. Okay, inner radius, if you wanted to have like a hole in it, you can do something like that. It's a really nice, easy way to be able to create different rings with different thicknesses and whatnot. I don't want any kind of radius, so I just keep it at 0. So we're just going to say make polymesh 3D. And now we've got this this star, this pentagon shape that we can start off with. Real easy, real quick. Super, super fun. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead, go BZ modeler. I'm going to go ahead, hit extrude, a single poly. Just going to pull it out. And then I'm just going to tap on each of these other faces. I don't have to pull on anything, and we're already like well on our way to getting this to look right. Let's see. So we're going to want to have it facing kind of like this. Good golly. Okay, so you can see kind of like what direction everything's facing. I want to get rid of half of this so we have just a single plane. It's easier to work with. Delete hidden. Okay. Then I'm just going to center this. Actually, let's do this. Let's get this to home. And we'll do that. Okay. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and change to stitch to midpoint. Good grief. Now, one of the things you can do, which is actually kind of a nice thing to do before you even change your positions, you could come up to your transform. Yeah, activate symmetry, radial symmetry, and you just change this down to 5. Now you can go ahead and you can just do all the points at the same time. And you can change slide by brush radius. You just slide that in, and you can change and decide exactly what shape you want this star to be. Let's change to a darker color so we can see the silhouette. Okay, so yeah, maybe I want something kind of that feels chunkier. I think this is kind of a nice fun shape. I mean, we also have like our Texas star right here. Good golly, I am not going to survive with the hiccups. Ugh. Whew. Those hiccups are hardcore, dude. I am dying. And it's funny because like I didn't start off with the hiccups. I started off with a little bit of like a sore throat cough sort of thing. So popped a cough drop, and now I got the hiccups. But yeah, so that's. Let me see. Oh, where did it go? Oh, where did it go? Oh, there we go. Okay, so now that I've got this, let's go ahead. Let's extrude all polygons. Hey, Jan. Okay. So now this is kind of a fun point of. Oops. Let's turn off the symmetry. And actually, we can come over here and make sure that we only have X symmetry back on. Okay, this is what I want. Dang it. Okay. Whew. If for nothing else, the hiccups are going to be like major comedic relief. Okay, so I'm going to say spin these edges so that we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, 5, please. Okay. So now that we have this, we can come in here. We can mask these out. And we can kind of scale that out. Okay, so this is giving us kind of this neat little star shape. If we wanted to, which I probably will, is I'd go stitch to midpoint. And just do this all the way around. If I still had my star in that position that I created it in, then I could still use my radial symmetry. I should have thought ahead to be able to do this. The last one that I didn't do it so that it was the star shape on both sides. I made it so that it was kind of, flat on one side. So I worried about just making it dimensional on one side and then just kind of extruding it out and making it flat on the back. Yeah, let's leave it kind of puffy like that. I want to say crease, crease all, so that way I can hit my dynamic subdivision. It's not going to smooth out, but I can bring my crease tolerance down to 1. Let's take it to like 2 or something like that. Let's see what it does. It's pretty cool. There we go. Oh, good golly. Ugh. Okay. Let's see. Shoot. Whew. Let's take the crease tolerance up to 3. I'm liking that better. That's looking pretty nice. It's still looking kind of chubby, but it's keeping the crispness of the star shape. So that's nice. Let's actually take this and let's turn this into a brush. Shoot. Create insert mesh. New. Oh, we need to name it. And actually, here's what I'll do. Because I like to use this sort of shape a lot. Shoot. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to say brush, create insert mesh, and I'm going to append it to my custom IMM primitives brush. So now that I've got that in there, I just need to go back and kind of reselect my icon. Yeah, ZBrush, library, must-haves, brushes. There's my icon. There we go. So now brush, save as, IMM primitives, get rid of that 1. We're serious about our IMM primitives. Okay, and then same thing. I'm just going to go ahead and save it to the ZBrush folder, so we can get the so it loads automatically when we load ZBrush. This is one that I made to just replace the IMM primitives brush from Pixelogic. Maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe that beat it. Maybe that beat it. All right, cool. So now we have this. Now I can come back to our file, select that star, and we can just kind of drag this out all over the place. Sweet. Okay, so what I want to do, let's do, let me see, we had treasure troopers that are part of the club so far. Gulp some water.
Score caught 2 bugs on the Bug Island.
Oh yeah? What kind of bugs?
A dragonfly and I don't know what else.
That's pretty insane. So, trying to think about which tier I should work on. Maybe Oliver. Maybe you have an opinion. Which one should I work on? So far, I've made this one and this one.
Make this one.
Make that one at the telescope.
Mhm.
Okay. Hey, Palmentonhosen. I'm not sure if that's the right way to pronounce your username, but that's a pretty stinking cool username.
Third bug.
Cool. Go play with the bugs then. Okay, so we're gonna do stargazers then. I'm just working on building out my tier logos. Um, you agree with Jan? I don't want to drown. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's a good. I got my water. I got a little bit left anyway. It seems to have gone away. So Oliver said to do the Stargazers logo, which will be this one with the telescope, which is fitting that we're doing this one because that's the one with the stars. So we already got started on it. So what we're gonna do, I am going to, let's hide this. Control Shift D just to duplicate that out. And then, is it Control F? Yeah, there we go. Stargazers for the folder name. Call this ring. And then I actually, maybe I'll actually go ahead and let's polish this out. So let's come over here to, well, it's like I've got a clean ring here. Maybe that's what I'll do. Control Shift D. Delete. Okay, so now that I've got this clean ring, let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and add some surface noise to this to be able to create the wood look. So this is how I do this. This is a clean surface so far. It just has dynamic subdivision on it. It's not anything fancy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to surface. I do have kind of a mentorship online course stuff available online. Currently what I'm working on is tier logos for Patreon. So yeah, there are all sorts of things that I put out to my patrons. Different brushes, base meshes, printables, things like that. Live streams, other resources for them in particular. The upper tiers, like if we come up to this upper tier, this $50 tier, it's you'll get live feedback. So I'll give you, like, it'll be, be able to chat online together, and I'll be able to go ahead and give you critique on your work. And it'll be, something where you'll get like a whole hour worth of critique, but also sculpt over feedback or draw over feedback, however you prefer to have that, whatever it is that you work on. So I do stuff like that, and that's so far I don't have anybody in that tier, so I haven't done that for anybody yet. So but yeah, so that's kind of a fun option there. But I also do have on ArtStation, you can find me by typing in Smaartist, and you come into search and Smaartist. You find me all sorts of different things there. Artists, come into my account and you can see store, and I've got all sorts of items up here, tutorials, resources. These things are things that you can go through and buy, and right now it's on sale. I can't remember how long the sale is running for, but yeah, everything's on sale currently. It may possibly go through the rest of the weekend. Usually it tends to, the sales tend to go through Monday. But yeah, so right now everything's on sale. So if you're interested in online tutorials and things like that, that's a great way to be able to get stuff right now. So yeah, hopefully that helps. So inside of this this surface, there's this lightbox noisemakers option. You click on that and it brings open the lightbox, and it opens up the noise tab. So right here, this is the surface noise that I use to be able to create wood. Okay, you can see it adds kind of like this nice look to it. Right now, let's see. I want to play with the scale some. I'm trying to see exactly what I can get with it. Maybe I'll leave it kind of how it is. Let's leave it how it is for right now. Let's say strength. We'll go ahead and we'll take it so that it's not quite as strong. Say okay. Okay. So the idea for this particular logo is going to be essentially to make it feel like it's like old-timey sort of astronomy sort of telescope with background and everything. You don't want anybody to see your lovely face. Hey John, how you doing, dude? Good to see you. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. So if we were to go ahead and hit apply to mesh right now, you'll see it doesn't really do anything. It's because we don't have enough geometry in that mesh to be able to make it actually work for us. So let's go ahead. Let's rename this ring. I can lower my polygon count or my subtool count, and yeah, dude. So right now, John, I'm just working on kind of building out my tier logos for Patreon and making it just kind of a stream event so that people can look and see and enjoy. and it's free advertising for my Patreon page. Yeah, so the ring, I want to go ahead geometry. I want to say convert BPR to geo. And there are a couple different ways that we can actually go ahead and make this work for us. If we want this detail from the noise to be pretty much exactly the way that we see it, we can just say convert BPR to geo, and that'll go ahead and it will be incredibly dense. It'll be super heavy geometry. Let's go ahead and test it out just to see. Yeah, I mean, look, it took us up to 5 million or 2.5 million polygons just for this one piece. But it gave us this pretty cool looking wood look, One of the hard things though, look, you'll see now that it's kind of still got the faceting from the low poly mesh. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just go ahead. You know what? I wonder how dense that is, because that is pretty freaking dense. Okay, let's come on to this. Let's subdivide it 4 times. Let's try that, and now we can go in down here to we can say convert BPR to geo, and this should be a lot more indicative of what it is that we're actually trying to achieve with it. See, it's got a much smoother shape. It's giving us much better results. It is a much higher poly count, which is something that's totally fine. I mean, I've got a lot of subdivision levels. Oh, I can have a lot of subdivision levels. Reconstruct subdivisions. Let's see how much we can bring this down. Yeah. So something like this will probably work well for us in rendering. I don't know that we'll have to step up to the highest level, but might as well. Might as well at least keep it. But this way we can go ahead and lower our subdivision level, or lower our poly count while we're working, so that way we don't have to worry about having too many polygons slowing us down while we're working. So I'm going to come over here. I want to grab this this piece and bring it up into our folder. Okay, this piece is going to act as kind of a backdrop. And then, of course, let's bring our star up in here. Now, for our star, we may go through and duplicate it around a couple of times. But then we'll probably also use like the star brush that we just made to create a little bit of overlap, possibly like little smaller stars though. And the reason why I want to make little smaller stars with that brush is that it's a little bit chunkier, a little bit rounder, so it feels smaller because of the shape. Let's go ahead and let's make some just for the sake of kind of getting it there. Let's place this. Let's see. I think I had it something like that on my logo. In fact, maybe do I have? I don't have the thumbnails saved out yet, so let's go ahead. Let's actually create little little icons that we can bring in to Spotlight, so that way we can use them as. He likes stars, good. Yeah, it was a pretty fun little thing. So you know, once the stream's over, you can go back and you kind of watch the way that I made the brushes. So. Add more stars wherever possible. Stars on stars. Let's go ahead. Let's see. Open. Come down here to logo. And then let's see. PR tiers. Let's see. Tier thumbnails. Okay, so here are our different logos. Okay, right now we're going to be making this one. Technically we've already got this one made, but we'll go ahead and duplicate it off anyway. And then this one. Oh. All right, let's kind of go through and just kind of fix this so that it's upright. This is where I want to go ahead and make sure that the alignment on these things is the way that I want it. This will help so that I can better keep track of what it is that I want it to look like. Let's come down to the treasure troopers. And angle that a little bit differently. Okay. And yeah, we'll angle this. The asset hoarders a little bit differently too. Okay, so this one is Stargazers. This one is Brush Collectors. This one is Asset Hoarders. This one is Treasure Trooper. In fact, let's do it like this. We'll just call it Thumb, and then call it the name. So that way, it's something that when we do a quick export, it'll kind of keep everything nice and together, easier to find. Stargazers. And then this last one is Intergalactic Rangers. Alright. So let's do a quick export on those, and then we'll go ahead and we'll take them over into I had to think for a second. I was like, did I select yeah, hey Quentin, how you doing? Yeah, so these are kind of the Patreon tier icons. Just going through and kind of building them out real quick. Want to try to get the rest of them built out. how did your internet installation go yesterday, Quentin? Did it go pretty well? Okay, we gotta select our import image window. Okay, so right now we're looking at thumbnail for stargazers. Let's add that to Spotlight, shrink her down, pop her up there in the corner. Yeah, let's just kind of rotate it just a little bit. Okay, and then the other thing I want to do is I want to make sure that my samples underneath brush samples spotlight projections turned off, so that way it's you know, it's not going to affect my model as I as I work. Okay, it went well. Okay, good. It's so much faster. That's good, dude. That is so much better. Last night for class, I teach classes for Nomen, stylized character creation, and the it was such a pain in the butt. I was teaching last night and nothing seemed to want to work. Drove me absolutely nuts. Let me see. I'm trying to think how I want to go ahead and do this. Let's say insert cylinder 3D. So we got something like this going on. But yeah, my internet was crashing so many times last night. It was unreal. It was so unreal. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. To be able to build out this telescope, I want to block in the telescope before I add in stars. Just that way it helps me to be able to work out the composition. What I'm going to do, let's start off with a little bit of a taper. Okay, this will help to kind of get a little bit of that shape started. Let's say accept. And then I'll just go ahead and control click and drag that down. Just kind of shrink that in a little bit. So if you hold Alt and use any of these, any of the RGB scale boxes, it allows you to kind of scale in every direction except the direction you're clicking on. So that's pretty nice. It's scale uniform except that direction. Which is really, really nice. Okay, let me see. So we got that. We want one more. Hold Alt, click and drag that in. So one of the things I'm trying to decide is if I want to. Well, let's do this. We're going to taper it a little bit more, because I think that'll help to kind of get the shape a little bit better that I'm after in my sketch. And then, yeah, let's go ahead and say accept. And what this is doing, because the reason I'm trying to push that taper so much is it's helping to kind of force perspective. I'm trying to decide whether or not I actually want to, well, a few things. I'm trying to decide if I want it to break the silhouette. I'm trying to decide if I want it to be dimensional like this. Thanks, dude. Yeah, so I'm trying to think if I want it to be dimensional or if I want it to be more like a coin. With the With the brush collectors, let's turn this off. And you can see like it's got all the dimension. You know, the brushes are going through the ring of paint. It's really pretty simple, and fully dimensional. So I'll probably do a similar sort of thing with everything else, and that could also help the way that composition is working, because then I can get overlap more easily. There we go. Kind of push that up a little bit. Up in size. I think I'm going to have this break the silhouette some. One of the things I want to be careful of, I need to get kind of the end cap rings going around the top, going around the bottom. So yeah, let me see. Let's do this. I'm going to say crease, edge loop complete. And let's do this. We're going to say hit 7. 7 is frame mesh, so if you to be able to get to that, you go up to stroke, down to curve functions, and it's performing this function, this frame mesh. So it's going to look for borders, polygroups, and creased edges. Since currently all I have is the creases, I don't have a change in polygroups. I don't have open edges, which is what the border is referring to. It's just going to be looking for the creased edges. Let's go ahead. Let's grab the curve tube, and I got to modify this a little bit. I keep meaning to save out over the old curve tube. Maybe I'll do that now just to be able to show you that process again. So like I was showing you for my insert primitives, this will be the similar sort of process. So I'm just going to go down to modifiers to be able to change my brush a little bit. I changed the brush modifiers slider down to 8. That makes it so that there are 8 divisions going around the outside. It's just a lot easier to deal with. So there's that. And then I'm also going to come over here to stroke and down to curve. The curve step I'm going to change up to 1. Okay, so now I've got my brush set the way that I want it. I'm just going to go ahead and say save as. I'm going to go first, let's go into our brush presets folder. It's underneath the Pixelogic program files. Okay, program files, Pixelogic, ZBrush 2020, ZData, brush presets. Okay, and then this is where you can go ahead and you can just save things away. But you want to make sure that if you're replacing a brush, that it has the exact same name as the brush you're trying to replace. So in this instance, it's going to go through when you save a new brush by the same name as it was before. It's going to by default add a 1 to the end. So I get rid of the 1, and then I'm just going to go ahead and say save, replace that brush, and now that'll be there every time I load in ZBrush. I also want to save it to my folder. So I like to keep a library of different things that are important to me. I have a must-haves folder, so like brushes, we'll go curve tube, get rid of that 1, just like we were talking about, and then hit save. So now I've got that custom brush there, and it's ready for me to load in every time. So like if I update ZBrush, when the next version comes out, I'll have to go through and re-import all of my custom brushes, and having that must-haves folder, it's really handy. One day when you're famous, you should 3D print the tier icons as a coin to give to your. So actually, this one, the intergalactic Rangers, they that will be a coin. That will be one that is 3D printed and mailed to members of that tier. That would be cool though. I do want to go through and print them all out at some point, make them all into coins. That's something. Maybe one of these days I'll actually go through and do a live stream chat with my friend Joe Mena. He is he's the head sculptor at the U.S. Mint, and he sculpts coins for a living. So it'd be fun to be able to go through and kind of talk shop with him and chat and see what it is that he does. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna click on that, and that's giving me that ring right there. Trying to decide if that's too thick. If it is too thick, I can just kind of step my brush down. That's a bit too thick still, I think. Let's try that. I think that looks better. So we got that, and then we can go ahead and, oh, hold on. So when that happens, so you saw I go ahead and click on that other one. If you hit 5, that'll essentially take, they call it, I think it's called screenshot. If you go up to the curve, the stroke, the curve, where is it at? Snapshot. Yeah, snapshot curve. So essentially that's going to go ahead and commit it, but still keep the curve live. So now I can come up here and I can click on that and it's good. Okay. Cool. So far, so grand. All right, so what I'm going to do, let's go ahead, let's inset this. I'm going to polygroup flat island. Okay, so you see it only affected that one polygroup. I'm going to say inset polygroup island, inset region, and I want it to go in so that it's just the size of that ring. And let's go ahead and let's say extrude polygroup island. Bring that down. Because what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to add in like a flat sphere in here. So let's go ahead, brush, insert mesh, primitives. So now I've got all my fancy little primitives here. Let's just grab this sphere 32. It's a sphere with 32 divisions on it. I can make my brush roughly the size of the opening here, and then just kind of hold control and click and drag. And you see that's like one that's really, really far out there. So we're just gonna kind of go ahead and click and drag that down. But it's also like way too round. It's way too spherical. So what I'm gonna do, center that, flatten it down. You know, there are a few different ways that you can go about making that work in that, you know, in this aspect. That's probably a little bit better, actually. You see how it's getting all like, it looks like a balloon, like it's got little like rubber bands around it or something. So let's do this. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to say geometry, crease. I'm going to turn the crease tolerance, or the crease, the crease edge tolerance up here to 75 degrees. Hit crease, and now I've got those edges nice and creased. Martine! I'm doing well. How you doing? Sean, how are you? How are you? Yeah, right now I'm just kind of messing around and building some things out inside of ZBrush. Working on tiers for, like, tier icons for my Patreon page. Yeah, it's pretty fun. I'm having a good time with it. Slide edge loop partial. I'm getting the wrong edge loop partial. Let's see. Let's do this real quick. I'm gonna split the hidden parts. There we go. Okay, cool. So now we have our telescope. This little ring down here doesn't feel quite as smooth as this ring does, but that's because like all the pieces are just kind of, you know, all the rings are just kind of going around in the in a tighter circle. Doing all right. I've always focused on environments, but for the past year, it's not been fun. Haven't finished any project that I started. I'm thinking of switching to character design. Would love if you could give me some tips. or point me to certain Pluralsight courses. I've used ZBrush, but I have no idea how to use polygroups, and I'm not too used to it. I just want to work in the games industry, but my willpower, my passion is starting to fizzle out. Yeah, so I think that you're definitely kind of on the right track, Sean, in trying to like watch live streams and things like that. That's definitely a great thing to be doing if you're interested in working in this sort of industry, because there are a lot of people that you can chat with and talk to. And I think that one of my favorite things about live streams is just a chance to be able to network. There are a lot of things. I haven't been on Pluralsight since it was Digital Tutors. When Digital Tutors was bought out, I lost my my membership that I had through school somehow. It's like there was some sort of weird miscommunication, so I lost my access at that point. So I don't know any particular courses or series or anything that would work for you in that. I do know that, let's put that something like right there. I do know that, well, I mean, I've got some tutorials and resources of my own that I've put onto like ArtStation, or I've also got right now I'm developing. So like here's like ArtStation store with some different tutorials or processes or things like that. And right now those are on sale, so that's an opportunity. Right now I'm currently actually working on my tier icons for Patreon. So that's another opportunity of things that I offer personally. If you are, let me see, I'm trying to think. If you're interested in like Gnomon classes, Gnomon will be it's official that Gnomon will be offering classes purely online, both well, we're currently offering classes for the summer term, but that's already, I think enrollment for that is already closed. But we'll also be offering for the fall purely online. So if you're interested in taking like a specific class through Gnomon, I think a lot of other schools are probably also offering similar sort of thing. So yeah, something like that is a possibility. Straight out broke, but ZBrush Live offers a lot of cool free opportunities to learn. So I think that definitely hitting up ZBrush Live, looking at the just the things that ZBrush Live has to offer, especially since it's free. It's, oh come on, oh it ruined my keyboard shortcuts. Okay. But yeah, that's kind of one of the things that I would recommend. Something that I really enjoy doing personally is listening to different people, just different people doing their thing, and yeah. Play with that a little bit just to make it a lot of what I did to be able to learn and grow as an artist, specifically for character, is actually, let's put this right here so that I know that it's right where I want it. One of the things that I did specifically to to be able to learn and grow as a character modeler is I participated in a lot of recently anyway recent development. I've tried playing around a lot with like the draw this in your style challenges or other drawing challenges that people have been putting out. Like there was the Sailor Moon redraw that I participated in. There's Marvel Month going on right now from Amanda McFarlane, The Animated Life on Instagram. Let me show you a couple of those because there are some fun things. As I'm over here on ArtStation. So like here's a draw this in your style I did. Here's a storm in my style. Another draw this in your style. So like just lots of things, and it's stuff that you don't necessarily have to go through and post online, but it's stuff that will be helpful to you in trying to figure out what makes the design appealing to you. Yeah, it was kind of a fun design. I'm trying to remember if I have the yeah. So there's the original design, and I went through and changed it to be more of a little girl sort of character, just making it cute. But these sorts of things have been really, really helpful to me. Really enjoyed it. Storm, being able to figure out how this particular illustration from Jenny Friesen, how she would look in my style, you know. So just having fun. This one is another draw this in your style. Yeah, Storm was so much fun. And actually, I released a tutorial about how to change your Maya loading screen so that, yeah, you're right too, John. And John does a lot of really cool ArtStation challenges that turn out super nice. He has a really great eye for surfacing and texturing, and he's been doing some killer stuff with garments lately, with clothing, and so neat. Yeah, and he does a lot of those challenges. Do you think I could build a portfolio creating really good 3D models based on other artists' turnaround? Yes, absolutely. I think that it's good to have kind of a balance of things that you do on your own. You know, it's good to include things that you do for yourself, do on your own. Like for instance, on my demo reel, I mean, it's not anything too super fancy, but it's you know, this is kind of what I have in mind. So this is one that I did based off of somebody else's concept. I think that it's most important when you're trying to get a job doing something, specifically with 3D modeling, that you show that you can follow a concept. And this is my own thing right here. But that witch was something that I did based off of a concept for Ross Tran's Draw This in Your Style challenge for his 1 million followers extravaganza thing. Yeah, right here I try to credit, you know, where I get the original artwork, the original inspiration, whatnot. There's my original sketch that I went through and did, and then the character that I developed based off of that sketch. It's funny looking at this character last night, and I was like, you know, I can improve that. Here's my Sailor Moon redraw, going through and playing with trying to build Sailor Moon in my style. Here's one that I did. It's a sculpt based off of my own sketch. But yeah, just having fun with it. Similar sort of thing, you know, just doing my own thing. But yeah, for a modeler, it's important to companies to see that the modeler can handle making something in somebody else's style. And so yeah, I have some things that are done kind of more my style, pushed in my direction, like a lot of these later models. But I mean, this one was a fun one, and that one's done for a studio. But Some of them were rendered in ZBrush. I'll have to go through and show you which ones. That's Keyshot. But yeah, so one of the main things that I find, one of the most important things that I can think about for a modeler is trying to consider showing that you can do a range of styles, trying to show that you can follow a concept, because the company's not as interested that you can go through and do great modeling as they are in the fact that you can nail some styles. Because for the most part, they're going to hire you to make their stuff. This was rendered inside of Maya using Arnold. That was a lot of fun. This was rendered. What did I render this one in? I think I rendered this one actually inside of ZBrush. But this one is done in like multiple passes, so I had to do one main render, and then I did like a rim light render, and then I did another rim light render, and then I composited them all in After Effects. Water. This is rendered in Maya using Arnold. This is Maya and Arnold. Composited in Photoshop. This is ZBrush. Okay, this is something that I developed, just over. Again, like I was talking about with the other. Where's your water? I need more water. I ran out. Hope the hiccups don't come back. That was fierce. If Mikkel's still on, he could totally attest to that. Jan could as well. Those were some fierce hiccups. But yeah, so this was all done inside of ZBrush, all the render and everything. And this is done in Maya and Arnold. This was done in ZBrush. Okay. Again, using render passes, so you could get different rim lights and things like that. This is a ZBrush render, but I also have a Maya render of this on my ArtStation. This is actually this is a Keyshot render, which I should have put that in there. That's a ZBrush render. Okay, just really, really simple. This one doesn't have any fancy compositing to it or anything. It's just a simple one light render. This is also a ZBrush render, so you can kind of see it. This is a Keyshot render, and that's a real toy. And this is a ZBrush render with compositing. So it's really kind of fun to go through and see those sorts of things. I'm going to, but yeah, for the tiers, the way that I have them so far, actually, well, let me click into it. But these are ZBrush renders with different composites, composited inside of Photoshop. So it's pretty fun. It's pretty good. Doing different passes, it can be a lot tedious. It can be pretty tedious. I prefer to just do one beauty pass in Arnold, but you get way better results with passes. Sometimes you can, yeah. I like using Arnold because that way I can go through and actually control my lighting. But yeah, the ones with colors and textures. So yeah, they are textured, but a lot of them are textured using polypaint. Oh man, out of cough drops. It's okay. I got Fisherman's Friend. This is like my favorite cough drop. So good. Not because it tastes good, because it definitely doesn't taste great. It tastes like molasses, but it works, So, whatever. Let's see. When you're modeling a new character in ZBrush, do you model it in pose or in standard? Yeah, I do an A pose. Mostly because that way I have a neutral model to go back to. It makes it a lot nicer for me as the artist. So that way I can. I kind of want to play with the shape of this. So, but we're gonna duplicate this so that we can keep it. We'll just rename it. Pardon me. Another important question: when you're modeling a new character in ZBrush, do you model it in? A pose. Do you rig your models? Use some plugin because all your characters are nice poses. I actually just model like sculpt them into pose after I model them. In fact, I think I'm trying to remember if I did that in. Let's pull this up. Yeah, using the transpose tool. Let's go to the community, ZBrush Live. Oh, you know what? Let's just do this because this will be easier to find me. ZBrush Live. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I have one recently on this channel for posing. Yeah, it looks like this is all pretty early on in building Storm out. But I do have videos somewhere about being able to do the posing and stuff like that. Let's see. Oh look, I'm live right now. Trying Blender. That was insane. I think I do have the time lapse for some of these characters available. I don't know. Let me see. Ask Smaartist, good listen short. Smaartist live. I don't know, there are a lot of different videos. You probably have to look through them. I don't know how everything's organized. If everything looks different to me than it does to everybody else. But yeah. Yeah, I do need to add in some information onto my Twitch channel just so people can kind of get to things. I have to figure all that out. I tried figuring all that out, and it's just, I don't know, like the jargon and everything is so different. But whatever. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna say bend curve. And give this a little bit of a bend so it'll make it feel more fun. Actually, maybe I'll have it bend the opposite direction so that it feels like it's more looking up. maybe before I do that, what I'll do here, let's go ahead, we'll say reset, delete. Okay, so one of the things I'm going to do, let's add in some rings here, some edge loops. You know what, let's just change it so that it's multiple edge loops. And then let's do this. We're going to say geometry uncrease all, and then we're going to crease by the 75-degree mark again. Okay, I'm just going to make this the new telescope. And then I'm just going to delete the old one. We'll just leave that the way it is. Alright, so now let's go ahead and let's add in this bend curve. Add in a resolution, dot, and let's start bending it. The reason why I wanted to add that extra resolution is that it helps to be able to make it so that there's more of a gentle curve than more of a gentle curve than that's kind of bizarre, but I do kind of like how it's affecting the shape. Let's play with that. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I like that. What do you guys think? So this is actually for my Patreon page. This will be for a tier on Patreon. And yeah, kind of the idea for this tier is stargazers. It's kind of a basic support level. Yeah, Twitch is a bit more accurate when it comes to delay. There's a lot less delay for Twitch than there is for YouTube. So you see, like, I've started going through and adding tier icons for Patreon, and right now I'm building the one for stargazers, which is kind of a basic level, but it allows people to kind of come in. Kind of support me a bit as an artist, but also allow them to have certain benefits. So being able to get access to the podcast, being able to access streams, work in progress updates, time-lapse videos, those sorts of things. I think I do occasionally make streams that are available to everybody. Like right now, this is public. This is open to anybody and everybody. And then, so for instance, the Moral Support Brigade will be able to get that sort of benefit as well. Those occasional public streams. But yeah, and this is kind of the page that I've started building out. Got a little ways to go, trying to figure out how to make it look more exciting and stuff. It's all part of being a designer and whatnot, and trying to market yourself. But it's fun. It's fun, and it's been a good time. Got some good people over there on Patreon so far, and it's been good. Just gonna smooth it a little bit to kind of bring back some of the roundness. Prashan, how you doing? Dude, your Captain America that you posted earlier is awesome. That looks so stellar. Okay. I want to Control D that. Oh, but the other thing I don't want it to have all those extra divisions around the outside. So let's go ahead and get rid of these divisions. Okay. Polish that bad boy right there. That's what I'm talking about. That's so much better. And now it feels like it's got the same resolution as the other ones. No, not another Sean. It's his name is Prashan. So, you know, slightly different. He's over on YouTube. So there's Sean on Twitch and there's Prashan on on YouTube. Let me see. Let's kind of bring this, scale it in just a little bit. I feel like it's kind of crowding this lower space a little bit too much. So I'm going to kind of play with scale some here. Let's do that. Real deal. Ah, interesting. Let me see. Let's do this uncrease crease again. Uncrease all. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I guess maybe the crease PG will work for me right now because I have different polygroups there now, so it works. All right. Yeah, I was seeing that Anna Carolina had her Twitch and YouTube chat show up. Yeah, I'm definitely going to get more stars. But yeah, Anna Carolina had her both stream chats popping up at the same time. I think that's really pretty cool. I think that's something to do with like a stream bot. I got to figure out how to do that. I'll have to ask her. I'll have to call her about it later or something. Because that's a neat feature. Oh. Yeah, let's kind of pull this out a little bit. It's all kind of just a matter of making this sort of stuff just feel like it's working together. Okay. Cool. All right, Sean, you ready? We're gonna make more stars. Okay, let's go ahead. We're gonna grab this. Gonna bring this over here, really shrink that down. Let's have it tilted just a little bit, but not a ton. Okay, so that's probably it for that size of star. Let's go ahead, let's get our Now we got our insert mesh. We got our IMM primitives. Let's grab the star. Okay. Set our size. Ooh, yeah. Okay, let's give it like really teeny tiny ones. Ooh, that's cool. Okay. One up there. I'm trying to figure out how I want to place them so that they feel natural. Let's see. I want to make sure this is kind of peeking out there. Let's see. Put a cartoony eyeball sticking out of the telescope. I don't think I will, but funny. RGB colors, fill that object, and then let's see, we're gonna go switch back to, you know what, I may not even need to go through and do that. Let's think about a color that could work for this. Let's do something like this. Go ahead and say color, fill object, and let's just change this to something pretty pretty simple. Let's get the skin shade there. Brush, color, fill object. This way I can just deal with color and not have to worry about
By the phone I've been charging it.
Okay. Yeah, so one of the things that I'll do to kind of make this work.
Dad, I want to go back to Pokemon. What's not letting me go?
Yep, it has to charge. Okay, so one of the things that I'll do to kind of make this work. Yep, it has to charge. Yeah.
Can I watch you? Actually, watching.
Just gonna kind of push some of these colors around. I think by painting this stuff in, I think it's going to really help to increase chances of happy success. Yeah, just kind of playing with that color in there. Sometimes you just gotta play around. Okay. Let's get that. You know what? Maybe I don't want to subdivide the whole thing. Let's just subdivide this portion of the telescope. That way I can have kind of a smoother lens. Okay, let's turn off the Z ad for my smooth. Let's get this going. Let's get this going. Okay, make sure I've got that. I got the color. Get something like that. And let's kind of bring a little bit more of this darker color down around the bottom. See if we can kind of break up this specular shape just a little bit. Maybe not. Let's do something like that. Kind of pull some of this color up just a little bit more. I think that's working. Do you ever use Sculptris Pro for anything? Yes. I do like to keep everything really nice and neat, topology wise, but I do also use a lot of Sculptris depending on what it is that I'm doing. So a couple of weeks ago, I did this project with my friend Mikkel here on. Oh, I thought it was in this folder. It's not. TeamStream. And I started working on it a little bit more so far for a demo last night in class. But yeah, this guy right here. This bust is one that I did in using a lot of Sculptris Pro. Oh, keep the necklace on. Let's go up here to the top, turn off the torso. So this bust is one that I created using Sculptris Pro and Dynamesh. And as you can see, I mean, no clean geometry there at all. The surface is pretty tight. You know, it's still rough block in stages, and you can see like where the Dynamesh has been going in. But let's see, which one of your tiers is one where you can join in an audio chat during your stream? Let's see, which ones do I have it at? I know that I have it at. Yeah, I think it should be available for stargazers and above. mean, there are different streams. So like this one is one that's public, and if anybody was interested, I could totally turn on. In fact, maybe I will turn it on just in case anybody wants to get on Discord. Got to get to the right Discord channel after this. Okay. See, I'll just jump on in here, and then no spare time, and if anybody wants to be able to chat, totally jump in. We'll have you. And then, yeah, let me see. Let me know if there's any kind of echo too. One of the things I want to check and see, and I shouldn't have a problem because it's picking up desktop audio, which would be coming from the Discord, but then it's also picking up my microphone, which is picking up my sound. So it should be good. But yeah, if anybody, oh, sorry, Scarlett. If anybody joins the Patreon, and you know, this is a community where you're able to jump in and chat and have some fun. So yeah, I'll have that open, and if you decide to come in, say hello. But yeah, this is one where I was kind of building out the character using Dynamesh and other stuff. Is that the right arms? Those are the right arms. This is me just kind of going through and goofing off. It's like a half hour last night in, well, I guess total this project right here so far has taken me like an hour and a half. The head, you know, this the necklace on up, that was something that I did as part of a team stream I did with my friend Mikkel at the beginning of the month. And the body and the arms are pieces that I started in during class last night as part of a demo on how I would go through and kind of extend the character. Dude, Quentin, if you want to jump in, that's up to you, dude. I'm not gonna say no. Let's see. So we've got these pieces. Let's go ahead. Let's figure out what color we want to make these. I want to make. Let's probably keep it with the. Maybe the toy plastic. Let's figure out a color. Let's go. Let's go with like red, but kind of muted. MRGB, and we'll figure it out. And if it doesn't quite look good, then we'll figure it out. Color, fill object. Maybe on the inside part, maybe I'll go ahead and actually make it so that it's gray, so that it's like the outside is painted. Okay, let's kind of just select that. Color, fill object. That's nice. Let's make these rings. Right now, let's make them like a dark red. Oh, let's do this. Let's color pick from here. Let's make it darker and less saturated. There we go. And it's not really quite working for me. Let's see. Let's check out some telescope action. and it was made out of like brass or things like that in the old days. So maybe we should just go ahead and just make it different metals. This one's pretty cool. It's got like ivory to it. For sure, Sean. Thanks for jumping on, and thanks for asking questions. I hope it was helpful. Have fun with the dog. Yeah, maybe what we'll do is we'll go ahead. We'll make these rings. One, we'll make them the same polygroup because there's no reason to not have them the same polygroup. And then let's go to Z metal, and then we'll say color fill object. Okay, so that's already starting to look cooler. Oh good, I'm glad it was helpful. I try to be helpful. Okay, so with a lot of these, I mean, it's like you get kind of a different combination. Some of them are made with like ivory with cork, but that looks like it's possibly even like not even a telescope. It looks more like a carry case. You also get like these leather bound telescopes, but otherwise, really, like there's a huge trend of having a lot of like brass or gold or some sort of other metal. Yeah, Prashant, if you guys wanna jump on, yeah, jump on. Didn't want to chat with me, and I just want to chat with Quentin. I get it. He's cooler than I am. No, that's fine. Either way, like whatever it is that you'd like to do. If you want to jump on, I have it available. So yeah, should be good and groovy. Telescopes. Oh, that's pretty. I'll have to save that for in case I need a cool background at some point. Yeah, I think mostly what we're going to try to do. Let's try to do like a. Ooh, okay. I got an idea. Let's go like this. Control Shift A, Control W. Okay, so for this one, let's do the same thing. We're going to add that same brass sort of color. And then for this one, let's go ahead and add a surface noise to it. Feel like you're hogging Steven from the other Patreons. Project took a bit out of you, but you're still standing. That's good. Turned out super well. Let's see. I'm going to kind of go ahead and push this in a little bit. But then what I want to do is I want to make an extra separate thing for this. So I'm just going to drag it out and hold Control to actually make it so its own separate thing. And then I'll extrude that out. And what I can do with this is that I'll add the subdivisions and the wood texture to just this piece. Control W. Control Shift A. Let's get rid of these and then Control W. Okay. So what I want to do, let's go like this. We'll say split unmasked. Hopefully I'm not like hiding my options too much. I'm trying to be aware of that. Split unmasked points. Okay, so for this, let's do that. Say MRGB, let's fill it. And then let's add, yeah, it's already got creasing, so that's good. Let's go to surface, lightbox noisemakers, grab that noise. That's a little bit too much, so what we're gonna do is let's kind of rotate it. Strength definitely doesn't need to be that strong. Let's do add some color blend, but I want it to be like a let me see if I can figure out how to get this to, there we go. That'll work a lot better. Okay. Let's do something like that, and then we'll rotate the noise so that it's slightly different. I like that a lot better. Let's see. Let's see if we can get it to be maybe slightly lighter, less saturated, a little bit more orange. More yellow. Let's make it more saturated. Let's just play around with this a little bit. What we can do is we can also turn this off a little bit. That feels kind of cool. It makes the metal feel a little bit too warm. Like it feels like the telescope is too warm in color overall. So maybe it's a matter of like I need to go through maybe and have this be this color, but then I need to contrast it somehow. So let's go ahead and say color, fill object. I think that works. And let's come up here. Color, fill object. Okay, let me see. So I like having those gold bands on there. I wonder if I were to take these pieces and make them silver. Let's try it. Or like less warm in color. Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I could dig that. I could dig that. Let me see. It is 2:41 for me. I don't know how long I've been going, but I'll probably only stay on for another maybe 20 minutes or so. Yeah, so it looks like I've been going since about 1 o'clock. So yeah, 2 hours. That's not a bad amount of time. That's not bad. Okay, so for this little disc here, what I want to do is I want to, let's do this. I'm going to shrink this in, but then I want to extrude out this poly loop. Oops. Okay, so now we got this going in here. Hold on. Just kind of shrink this in some. And let's actually do not deformation, polygroups, group by normals. Let's do this. We'll go Control Shift X, Control W, and we'll just kind of invert it and then Control W for that too. Mask that, invert it, so that way we get just this. And now let's go ahead and start playing with polishing this. The thing that I want to get is I want to get a little bit of a bowed surface. So actually what we'll probably want to do, so we'll center that. We'll say project primitive. So you see now we're getting this sphere kind of coming into it. Okay. I don't want it to project through there, so we're just going to get rid of that. And we're just going to scale it out. And I mean that's working for me. Okay, let's commit it. Let's do a flatten as well, so we can make sure that our... Oh, interesting. Okay, so there's something that I need to do differently with my project primitive. There's an option somewhere where it allows you to make sure that it does not affect your actual geometry. I just need to figure out which cone it is. Okay, there it is. It's the big green one. So essentially what I want to do is I want to have this kind of come up. I might have to just go through and actually make a sphere. I'm not liking the way that this is actually working for me, so let's do this. We are going to, you know what? Let's do it like that. Because why not? Okay, let's polish that. That's good. That works. Okay, let's get the transparency on. I need my mask lasso. this is starting to come together. Yeah.
To the password.
What? For real?
Yeah.
Dude.
It's freaking phone. Why did you let me know the password?
Don't get upset.
I'm upset. You almost finished.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good so far.
Yeah. How to play the fish game?
I don't know that I have the fish game on that phone, bud.
It's going to walkie.
Is she playing that one right now?
Mm-hmm. I want to play.
Okay. This is turning out nice. Ring the center. Okay. I want to do something similar in color to this, I think. Maybe not. Let's see. Let's come over here.
Here. How do I get around here?
I think it's really nice midnight kind of color. For these stars, just go ahead and hit Control W. Oh, that's something that I didn't even think about. With these stars, is that they have polygroups. So let's go ahead. Let's re-add that. Just to be able to go through that process again. I'm going to come over here to this star, brush. I'm going to say create, delete mesh, create insert mesh, append. Okay. But now I've got to go ahead. Oh shoot! Make sure that my color's good too. Now it looks like it's just fine. Okay, so let's go ahead, brush, select icon, go back into brush. Oh, sorry, not those brush presets. We got to go to ZBrush, library, must-haves, brushes. There we go. So now we can brush, save as. So into our must-haves, we're going to replace it. Create insert mesh brush. Oh, sorry, not create insert mesh brush. Sorry, brush save as. Let's go over to our brush presets. Again, we're going to delete the one, hit save, replace it. Now we're good. Now we don't have to worry about the funky anything. Hopefully. Okay, let me come down here, surface, turn on noise, because that's going to allow me to get that surface noise back. And I want to take that color to something like that. Let's do something like that. And then what we can do, say apply to mesh. Okay. What I want to do, let's go to masking. We're going to say mask cavity. Yeah, it's not really working. Let's go mask smoothness. That's better. Is it getting the effect that I want? Sort of. Okay, so let's go ahead, let's take it like this, and then we'll say Control H to hide the mask. I want to grab a lighter color. Let's change this to color spray, turn the color down really low as I can make it. Change the alpha to something kind of gnarly like that. And then, yeah, let's go ahead and kind of drag out on here, and this should help to give me a little bit of color variation to those high points that I wouldn't be able to get just by using the noise as is. Let's see. It's a little bit tricky because it is technically it's not the highest subdivision level.
Dad, I found something very huge that used in ABC.
Oh yeah?
It has a spiky thing on its head and a spiky thing on its for a hand and a spiky thing for a hand.
Let's save this.
You gotta see it.
Logo, Patreon tiers. Guy.
But we don't have for it. Yeah. This is great. I kind of throw. Let's see how strong it is. It's very strong.
Yeah, no fish game. It's kind of funny. The kids have like totally commandeered my phone. Not just my current phone, but my old phone as well. So it's like
Dad,
what's up, Bubba?
we have something that evolves to Tyrannosaur.
They have something that evolves to Tyrannosaur.
No, we.
Oh, we do? Let's see. Let's go ahead, change our RGB intensity down really low, and we'll just kind of flood it a few times just to give it kind of a unified sort of look, but it still gets a little bit of that variation between the high colors and the low colors. Let's see, let's make sure that these are all the same material. Looks like it is. Trying to decide if I want to change it to anything in particular or not.
I've seen this.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I found this that this evolves to.
That's pretty groovy. Let's get the RGB intensity up. There we go. Fill object. looks a lot nicer. I like that. Alright. That was a productive stream. Took a little bit of a while figuring a couple of different things out, but we got some neat things worked out for the logo. For the you know what? Let's give this a surface noise. Let's edit this. Maybe make the noise larger. Yeah, I think that's working. For this, we need to go through and definitely change. I'm going to change the crease level down to 2, dynamic subdivisions up to 4. Good grief! I don't know how. Oh, okay. I see what's going on there. So we're gonna inset. Yeah, hold on. Oh yeah?
Yep, once.
Okay, let's say Control W, Control Shift S, Control W. Control W. And let's Control Shift A there to be able to bring this whole group in there. Control W to make that its own poly group. Control Shift S to shrink that down. Control W. Okay. So now we've got different poly groups for these two pieces. Sweet. I think I could have made it a lot easier on myself if I had just gone like this. Control Shift A and then just gone poly groups, group by normals. But since when does anything have to be easy, right? Whatever. So we'll do this. I want these to be the same. Okay. So what I want to do, I'm going to grab this. I'm going to say inset polygroup all. Let's see, let's go ahead and say scale, polygroup all, polygon center, just for the sake of getting a good edge kind of going around the outside there. I want to do a similar thing up here. Cancel. Say polygroup, flat island. And then we'll do the same inset. Okay, now we got a nice smooth transition there. Now let's do the same thing up here, I guess. Good golly. Let's say polygroup flat island. And then same thing, we'll say inset. And then we'll say scale. Not polygroup all, we're going to say polygroup island. Okay.
The voice on battle in a walk type easy.
Oh yeah? So one of the things, I'll take another like 10, 15 minutes, however, just to be able to kind of wrap this up, put a pretty bow on it. One of the things I want to try to do, I want to experiment with my render a little bit. Let's kind of put it into position. Let's check it with the perspective turned on. Cool. Okay. Let's go ahead. Let's go to movie, timeline. I might have a timeline. Yeah. Here we go. Oh, I need to see the timeline as well. So let's say show. Yeah, that's too close. So I'll have to play with that a little bit. For these stars, one of the things I didn't think about is I need to collapse the poly loop, and that'll just, well, it'll just give me a star, but I mean it'll allow me to have it so that I don't have a weird edge